Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live stream. Gonna give folks a couple minutes to tune in here. But in the meantime, yeah, really excited to have everybody with us here today. And yeah, I'm just gonna give folks a couple minutes here to file in. Also, we are officially live now on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks so much for joining us here today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sam Chlebowski. I am one of the co-founders of Motion.io. Really excited to have you with us here today watching this product update live stream. This past month has been just chock full of some really cool new features and functionality that we've added to the platform. And today I'm going to be showing you around everything that we've added. And as you watch, as we go through this, please feel free, write in your comments, your questions, regardless of what platform that you are watching this on. I will see those. And I'm going to try my best to respond to every single comment, every single question you put in real time here. I also appreciate you taking the time on a Friday. I know it's Labor Day weekend. I was just reading, some article that said a record travel weekend is expected for this Labor Day weekend. So, yeah, hope everybody has, some fun plans out there, or maybe you just get a chance to relax. Me, myself, I'm headed up to a small town in Colorado that's just outside of Telluride to do some romping around the woods with my family and some friends, so really excited about that. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's take a look at just an overview of what we'll talk about here today. And to do that, I'm going to go to our release notes that we just published earlier this week. So some of the big call outs here and kind of the big things that we've released, really cool new AI functionality. And this is, we've had some AI functionality within Motion.io, but we really wanted to take the time and assess, like, hey, if we're going to put AI in our platform, every software app, it seems like, puts AI powered or AI enabled directly on their website in the first line. We wanted to make sure that if we were adding AI, it was going to be something really useful. And the features that we've added, I think, bring a ton of value, especially during that time where you're setting up new project workflows. You're doing things like building forms or building tasks that you're going to reuse from project to project. And these new AI features that we have really added a ton of value there. You'll also see here that we have a brand new project dashboard. And I'm going to go a little bit out of order here with what's in the release notes, because I'm going to show you this first. I think it's helpful to get some context on that, because you're going to see it when I go into my Motion.io demo account that I have to show off for you. And I don't want you to get confused about where I am or what I'm looking at if you are kind of just tuning back into Motion.io, or you signed up for a previous trial before, and these new features that we've announced have kind of brought you back in. Another couple of cool features I'll also walk through. Auto BCC, which is a really useful tool for tracking things like emails that Motion.io sends in third-party tools. As well, we also have now electronic document signing in Motion.io. And we announced this about a month ago, but we hadn't published formal release notes, so this was something that got included in there. But I will walk you through, what this electronic document signing feature does towards the end of the live stream, in addition to our new WordPress client portal plugin, which is also something that we released about a month or so ago, but we're just now, adding it to our release notes. So excited to share that with you. And like I said, for anybody who's just tuning in, please feel free, as we go through this, put your comments, put your questions into the chat on whatever platform you're tuning in from. It makes it way more fun for me and way more engaging for me if you all, are commenting and asking questions. I'm even happy to, talk about things that I might not necessarily have as bullet points here, just because, if there's questions you have about Motion.io and there are things that I can show off and walk you through to help you get more value out of the platform we've built, I'd love to take some time and go through that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk about our first feature that I want to cover here, which is our brand new project dashboard. So before I show you this new project dashboard, some insight behind it and why we chose to add it is that one of the things we've been hearing the past couple of weeks is that our users really wanted a home base within each project that would provide them with a high-level overview of the most critical updates and related information. So you may have seen before we had a big project dashboard that has a list of all your projects, their current stage, the tasks within them that were recently completed. But one of the things that we were missing was a view within each individual project that would give you a sense of hey, what's going on in this project? What is the overall health of this project? And what is that information that I need to know that can help determine, number one, if there are follow-up actions that I need to take within a project or your team needs to take. And then number two, give you access to make it accessible for you to be able to do those things quickly and easily. So let's go ahead and I'm going to head into my Motion.io account and I'll show you how this new project dashboard works. So cool. I'm here in my Motion.io account and this is the project overview page that I had mentioned previously was kind of your home base for projects. But now what you will see is whenever you click into your individual projects, you also have a really great project dashboard that shows you, hey, what is the progress overall of this project, who's been invited, and a bunch of other important information. So some things to call out that we've added here is this progress bar is a brand new functionality within Motion.io. And what this is going to tell you is the percentage of that project has been completed based off its start and end date. So by default, the start date is going to be set when you activate your first task in a project. But if at any point you wanted to go change it, all you got to do is click the little button next to the start date here. And I can modify this any way I'd like. So let's say, this project, kind of started on the 15th, but the work really began on the 22nd. I could go ahead and save that. Return to the dashboard, and cool, you'll see that this bar updated to reflect that new start date. And the same thing is going to apply with the end date for the project. So if you, have to push an end date out, if, a deadline sort of changes or there's something that, a client didn't complete in time, you're also able to adjust the target end date in the exact same way. Some other cool things to call out here that I think are just really phenomenal additions that allow you to assess hey, what is going on in a project is you'll see we've also added this section that tells you what users have been added. And you can hover over each of the avatars here to pull up their name. But then if you'd like to modify any of the users, all you got to do is click right here. And great, you can see everybody who's been invited, whether they are a client, whether they're a team member, and quickly add or remove people from the project any way you'd like. Scrolling down here on the page, you'll see that there's a couple of other important sections here. One of the big things that our users really highlighted was important information for them to know within each individual project and understand it as quickly as possible was information about overdue tasks. And in this project, things are moving along just fine. So you'll see that there's no overdue tasks. But let's go ahead and let's go into another project that I have and visit the dashboard. And I just want to show you what this looks like when there are overdue tasks. So this project is falling a little bit behind, and one of the things that I really like to do for projects that are at risk of, getting delayed or, not continuing on as expected is I'll often add a tag that is called at risk. This is another thing too that you can quickly update is your project tags by clicking on that tags area from the dashboard. But you'll also see that within this project, there are some overdue tasks here. This client, Larry Smith, was supposed to complete the onboarding form, upload the brand assets, schedule the kickoff call, and he's pretty behind on all of those tasks. You'll also see within this project that there's a way to manage notes. And these notes that you see here are completely internal. This is a new feature we announced about a month and a half ago. It was included in our previous release notes. But a great thing that you can do is you can now manage notes from the dashboard page and quickly click in to see what those notes are. So let's say in this case, I was a manager of this project, but I wasn't the one playing the active role in it. And I can see here that my teammate, Sarah Smith, is the project owner. And that is, of course, not me. I'll go in and I'll check Sarah's notes here that she left. And I could see, oh, hey, on this client call on August 2nd, Larry seemed displeased with a couple of things and he stopped completing tasks. So I can quickly get a context of like, hey, okay, that makes sense then why these tasks are showing as overdue. And maybe that there's some follow-up action, or maybe, Sarah and I will meet to discuss a plan for this client, because I have all of the information I need to say, oh, hey, something's going on. How can we fix it? I'm going to head back into that Moxie Beverages project, the dashboard there. And you'll also see that there's information on the dashboard page that we didn't cover yet, which is files. So in this section, you'll be able to see the most recently uploaded files in the project. With this, the files that you see here, this was for a content request that we had made to a client to build their new website. I can also see, looking at this, that there was some recent activity. So I can assume that, hey, they uploaded these files. That was probably a part of all of this recent activity on August 27th. So this dashboard page is a really powerful addition to Motion.io, something that's really useful. It was highly requested by our users. And I think just overall makes it much faster and more efficient to get a sense of where your projects are and what work, if any, might need to be done. When you click into a project, you are no longer taken to the tasks page of the project as you were before this update. Instead, anytime you click into a project, and I'll just show you quickly how that works here. Great, I click and then boom, I'm immediately brought to that dashboard page. So that about does it for the new project dashboard. If anybody has questions about how this page works, definitely please feel free to write in with your comments, your questions. I would love to, know, hey, if you are using Motion.io, how are you liking this new project dashboard page? Is it something that you have seen has been useful to you? Let me know. So on to our next feature that I want to talk about, and this is going to kind of kick off our AI portion of our product update live stream here today, but that is going to be our new AI-powered form builder. And this is something that I personally have been using almost every single day at Motion.io when we're doing new customer demos, showing people around the platform. Instead of having to say like, hey, could you tell us a little bit of information about, what you would want from like an onboarding form? I can generate those types of forms in a couple of seconds. So let's go ahead back into my Motion.io account, and I'm going to show you how that works. So to access the AI form builder, all you got to do is navigate to the Forms tab of your account. And you'll see right at the top here, it's right there, ready for you to access the AI form builder. And the way that this works is pretty simple. You basically just describe in words what you want the form to collect, and Motion.io will automatically create it. So I could even type in something as simple as create me a new client onboarding form for my agency that we'll call it that designs websites for clients. So I could keep it really brief like this and just, enter that prompt and then click create form. And we'll wait a couple seconds for the AI to process. And cool, great. This is the client onboarding form that Motion.io generated for me. And I didn't have to do any of that work. All I had to do was type in that one sentence. Motion.io's AI handled all of the heavy lifting of choosing the fields, whether it was a short form answer or a long form answer, a drop down, things like a radio button, even an upload field. And it did all of that for me. And now I am free to go into any of my projects and attach this directly to tasks I create in either my active projects or my project templates. But, there are ways you can expand on this if you say, well, this form was kind of missing a couple of questions. A great thing about artificial intelligence in general, if you've used tools like ChatGPT, is that if you give the AI more to work off of, it's going to do more for you. So instead of just typing in that one sentence, I have this onboarding form, that description that I created kind of just right before this webinar. And instead of just putting that one sentence, I'll type this in. I'll say create a new client onboarding form for my website design clients. On this form, be sure to include, and then I'll paste in this information. And I have some specific stuff here, like a yes/no question, asking clients if they'd like to purchase an additional SEO package, asking them, information about where their website is hosted, where their email is hosted. So let's go ahead and click create form again and see what this form looks like when I give the AI a little bit more information. And cool, you'll see all of those additional questions, asking them information on their website hosting, their email hosting, this additional SEO package. It's all included right there, and I can go ahead and immediately start using this form in my client projects and templates. And Saba, thank you so much for the kind words. Really excited for this feature. I think that there are some companies that offer like an AI form builder out there. I quite frankly haven't used them. What's really cool about this is it's all built into Motion.io. And what I'm going to show you in a second is that this AI form builder is really just a smaller piece of Motion.io's larger AI functionality. Because when we're talking about creating entire project workflows or templates, things start to get really exciting. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you that next. And the next feature we'll talk about is Motion.io's new AI-powered template builder. And like I kind of alluded to, this feature is going to allow you to build out entire workflows, complete with everything that you need clients to complete, as well as tasks that you want to assign to team members using AI. It's going to generate all of that for you. So back into my Motion.io account, I'm going to show you how to access the new AI template builder. So all you have to do is go into your project dashboard and click the Create Project button. And this is something important to point out. In order to access the template builder, you're going to have to create a new project. So I'm just going to call this example project. I'm not going to create it from a template or anything like that, just because I want to use AI to generate all of the tasks, project stages, etc. that I'll need in this project. So I'm going to create this project from scratch. So I'll click that Create button. And then you'll see here I'm on the new dashboard page. The way that I access the AI template builder is by going to the tasks page. So here on the tasks page, you'll see that I have nothing in here yet. I haven't created any tasks or project stages. So I'm going to go ahead and click this Try It Now button in the banner at the top of my screen. And you'll see that Motion.io will bring up a modal that asks me a few questions about my process. And it's kind of up to you how detailed you want to be here. Kind of like I showed you with the form builder, the more you give the AI to work off of, the better of a job it's going to do. But at the same time, there are totally ways that you can just enter the bare minimum information, spit out a project template, and then you can always further customize that down the road. So I'm going to quickly answer these questions. I'm not going to make you watch me submit all of the information here. I went ahead and prepared this ahead of time. This first question that asks me information about my onboarding form, I pasted in an answer. I'm also going to answer this question about what files do I collect from clients during onboarding. And this is for just another example of a website design project. A lot of times, like in my demos as well as my videos, those are like the examples that I gravitate towards showing people, just because I have a ton of experience there from running a website design and marketing agency with my co-founder Perry. That was the previous business that we ran. And one of the big drivers behind us launching Motion.io. So I often use website design projects in my examples, but this AI task builder is going to work for virtually any type of business, any type of industry. As long as you do client-facing work, this is going to be something that you can use to generate full project workflows. I'll also answer yes to this question that I require an initial contract and agreement, yes to the onboarding call, and then I'll paste in some information about additional tasks that my clients and team members are responsible for during the onboarding phase. Something cool to call out is that if you are answering this question, you can specify, I typically like to use bullets, but you can specify whether a client or a team member is responsible for a specific task. And you'll see that I've done that here, where the client in the onboarding stage has to sign the web design and development contract. And then my team member needs to confirm the client's design style and goals of their new website we are building. So all of those questions are answered. I'm going to click next. And the form's then going to ask me about some steps that happen after onboarding. And I'll do a very similar thing. I'm just going to paste in a answer that I created ahead of time. One other thing to point out is that you can even specify in your responses to these questions what stage a task should be in. And Motion.io's AI will take care of creating those various project stages for you and then associating specific tasks with it. And you'll see that I've done that here. I have a couple of tasks that are added to the design stage, a couple in the launch stage, and that way the AI will know, hey, this task belongs in this specific stage. This final question here that asks what clients are responsible for, once again, I'll just paste in that answer, click finalize, and then this final step is pretty cool because it really leverages the full power of artificial intelligence. And if you answer yes to it, Motion.io's AI will take care of filling in missing steps that they identify in your process. And this is what allows you, like if you don't want to be as detailed as I was when answering the questions, you can answer this yes, and Motion.io will take care of filling in any missing steps. So let's go ahead and submit this form and see what happens. And sometimes this does take just a couple seconds. The AI does have to think and kind of determine what the best approach is. So don't be alarmed if this takes a minute or two. It just has to kind of think through the steps. In the meantime, though, just a reminder too, if you have any questions about this as I'm walking through it, please don't hesitate. Chime in. Let me know what you have questions about. Happy to help any way I can here during this hour we have together. So you'll see now here that Motion.io's AI has generated a couple of different stages for the project, as well as all of the associated tasks. And one of the really cool things is that if you have a task that involves a form submission, Motion.io will automatically generate that form and also attach it to the specific task, as you see here with the client onboarding form. In addition to that, you'll see that there are a mix throughout my project of internal, meaning that they are team member tasks, as well as client tasks, along with all of the stages that I specified in my project. What Motion.io even did, because I answered yes to that final question of, hey, would you like our AI to fill in the missing steps? It actually went ahead and broke out my launch stage into a launch preparation and website launch stage. So 2 different stages, just to make it easier for tracking and understanding what kind of needs to happen when. So once you generate a project template, you have a couple of different options from here in terms of how you wanted to use it. If I wanted to, I could immediately start assigning clients to these tasks, and I could just use bulk actions to set the assignees, add a client here, and then start sending those off. But I can also, if I want to, move things around. So let's say, if I wanted everything, if I didn't like the way that this was broken out into 2 different stages, and I just wanted to call this launch, I could very easily do that just by renaming this launch stage. Cool. And then I'll move these 2 tasks up into the launch stage, delete this stage, and all is good to go. So after you use our AI to generate a template, it's up to you. You can move things around however you would like. So if I wanted to as well, I could also take this project and turn it into a reusable template. And the way that I do that is simple. I can just go to settings here up at the top and then click copy to template. And Motion.io will turn that project that I created, and I use AI to generate all of the tasks and stages, into a reusable template that I am then able to, use in my onboarding flow with any type of new client. So now, let's say that I wanted to use that template with an additional customer that I'm onboarding. Let's call this example project 2, and then I'll click create from template and click create project. And cool, you'll see right here on the tasks page all of those tasks that I had Motion.io's AI create, as well as those changes that I made or reflected in this template. And I can then immediately start going to inviting clients to this project, assigning them tasks, giving them access to everything that they need directly within their Motion.io portal. So you can kind of see the value of this, especially if you are, just getting started with Motion.io. It's really useful for building out these complete project workflows in a matter of minutes. I mean, I think I started showing you this feature, 5 minutes ago, and I already have a fully reusable template that I can use, for any type of client that I onboard in the future. So we're really excited for this feature. I think it's just a tremendous time saver. And even if you are someone who you've been using Motion.io with clients for a while, if you need to create a new type of template for a different service or some type of additional package that you're offering, our AI template builder is going to really make that so much faster. So with that, I'll pause there for a second. Let me know if there are any questions about this template builder and how you can use it. But I will go ahead and we can start moving on to another really exciting feature that I know, a ton of our users have been getting a lot of value out of already. But if you are just kind of tuning in to one of these live streams or maybe you just signed up for a trial of Motion.io in the past day or so, is definitely going to be something that you will want to know about. And that feature is our electronic document signing feature. So one thing to point out before I really dive into this new feature is that you may have already been familiar with the fact that you can require a signature on any type of task in Motion.io. And previous to this update, we gave you the ability to, if you create a new task, you can toggle on this require signature option. And if you have a form in addition to that signature option, what it's going to do is automatically add, and I'll just save this task to show you what it looks like. And what it will do is automatically add a signature task to the bottom of any form that you have attached to a task. Our new electronic document signing functionality, however, gives you the ability to create entire project templates or workflows. It gives you the ability to create entire document templates, which you can map to specific fields. You can have multiple assignees, and is a really nice way to consolidate your functionality within Motion.io. A lot of our previous customers were using things like DocuSign, and then just to show you what the a task looks like where I attached a form, you can see that on my screen. But what these templates allow you to do is, consolidate things like DocuSign, HelloSign, get all of that within Motion.io. And I'll show you a quick example of what a project looks like once I have, set up a template, configured it, enabled electronic document signing. So one second, let me just go ahead and get into a project that I know has that feature. And we're loading here. Sometimes my when I'm doing live streams or doing video sharing, I don't know why it doesn't like me, but it just makes my windows slow down a little bit. So bear with me here for a second. And I'll try and just reshare this here real quick. Ah, cool. There we go. Okay, so going to go ahead and just share my screen again now that this is all good to go. I think it timed out on me or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead into this Moxie Beverages project and into the tasks page. I'm going to give you a look at what it looks like to use electronic document signatures in your Motion.io projects. So you'll see that this document has been attached to a task. The client has filled it out already, but I want to show you what the completed submissions look like first, and then we'll go back and I'll show you how to actually use this new functionality. So you'll see here, scrolling down, that the client has filled this out. They've signed it. And all is good to go there. Up at the top here, you will notice, and I believe this was a question that just came in, you'll notice these two fields up at the top. These are things that the client didn't actually enter, the client in this case being Moxie Beverages. What I actually did with these two fields is I used Motion.io's custom fields to auto-populate these details into the document template. And I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. And we have a question from a YouTube account called Mr. Credit Solutions. Thank you so much. The question is, are we able to add a field in the template builder for uploading files and moving to a files tab. So yes, one important thing to point out in Motion.io is that when you create tasks, you are able to use any number of these task options together. So for example, the task I just showed you was for the client to sign a website design contract. What I could do here when attaching this task to the project is, if I wanted to, I could add an additional section for files that I wanted to collect from the client. So let's just say, team photos, business brand assets. And I could use these two types of tasks together, which is automatically going to add a file collection field in addition to the signature and the electronic document signing. So I'm just going to call this sample task. Click save. And you'll see now that when I open up this task, there's two parts to it. There is the section for the client to upload team photos and business brand assets, as well as sign the document that I've attached. So the short answer is yes, you are able to add a field in your templates and in your projects for uploading files, and and those files that get uploaded will go directly into the files page of each project. So hopefully that was a clear answer. Let me know if you need additional clarification on that. But the short answer is yes, that is absolutely possible. And even though I'm working in an active project here, the same process that I just showed you is going to apply for both active projects as well as project templates. So I showed you what a completed document looks like in Motion.io, as well as how you can attach document templates you create to tasks. But now I want to take a step backwards and just show you how you create those document templates in the first place. Because you'll see that when I created that task, I had two options. I had a web design contract and a legal services agreement. In order to attach electronically signable documents to tasks, you do have to first create them. But the process for creating them is really, really straightforward, and I'll show you how that works now. So all you got to do is go into the documents and contracts section of your account and drag a new file. Images and PDFs will work both for this, and then click upload. Once you click upload, and I'm going to call this example document. Once you click upload and your PDF or image file is in there, an important step that you're going to have to do to use this is map the fields. And I'm going to pause for 1 second. I know we have a question. A. Smith asks, can you give an example of how to create and use custom fields for individual products? So yeah, so I'll show you two different ways to use custom fields. This first way that I'll show you is going to be in reference to if you want to include custom fields in a document. And I'll do that by dragging in a text field. I'm going to drag in another text field, and then I'm also going to add a date field to this project. So something really cool that you can do within Motion.io is if you have information that you want to populate automatically in a contract or agreement that you're sending to a client. Two great examples here are business information, the name of a business as well as their address. What you can actually do here, and I'm going to call this field business address, is I have in my Motion.io account a custom field that I've created, and I'm going to go and tab over to a different page of my account here quick. So I have this client business address custom field that's included in every project. And in this project, I've specified some values for that. I'm going to copy this client business address. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that into the API ID field at the bottom of this text field that I added. And what will happen is when I do this, and I'm also going to do this for so I'm going to add the client business address right over here. And you can just disregard that error message. I realized I made a little mistake there. But I pasted in the client business address here, and then I want to do business name right here. So I've went ahead and pasted in those two custom fields that I have in my Motion.io account. And then what will happen is that when this contract gets sent to the client, the information in my electronic document will update to whatever custom fields that I specified. So in the case for this Moxie Beverages project, the client business name will update to Moxie Beverages Inc. The client business address will update to the address I entered there. And then something really cool you can do even on top of this is you are able to use this information and you're able to update these custom fields when you create a project if you're using our Zapier automation. So that's one example of the way that you can use custom fields, but I also want to show you just like in a more general sense how custom fields can be used across your Motion.io projects. So let's say that just like the example in the question that we got, I wanted to include information about a specific product in my Motion.io projects and templates. I'm going to go down here and click the Settings tab, navigate to the Fields tab, and let's call this Product. So I'm going to call this Product, and then I'm also going to enter Product for the slug. And the slug, by the way, is what you see here in brackets that I was copy and pasting earlier into my electronic document you saw that I was working on. Okay, cool. So back in my Moxie Beverages project, I'm going to go and I will see in the fields, there is this new product custom field that I haven't entered any information for. So let's call this product, let's say it's just, SEO package. I can copy the slug here. And let's go ahead and create a new task in the project. And this is just going to show you kind of a quick functional way to use custom fields. So let's say that I wanted to include that information that says you have signed up for, and I want it to populate with that value of the SEO package. All I have to do is paste in that slug, and this is going to automatically update to whatever value that I entered. In your preview of that task, you can see, cool, you have signed up for SEO package. Another really cool thing that you can do with custom fields in Motion.io is, in addition to specifying things like just text or URLs or client business addresses, you can even use these custom fields to embed things. So let's say that I wanted to embed a payment form for a specific product. I'm going to go here to my team settings once again, and I'm going to add a custom field that's called payment form. And we'll just call this payment form. And I'm adding these fields at the account level so they'll populate within my individual projects. Going to head back into this same Moxie Beverages project that I've showed you a few times. Go to Fields. And this time, instead of just pasting plain text in here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab a embed code for a form. This is just going to be like a regular sort of lead form. But for the sake of this example, we can just pretend that it is a payment form. But this will work like in a very similar way. So I'm going to go here, and this is a form that I've created on Fillout. The reason why I show you this is they have a really great Stripe integration. So if I wanted to connect this lead form that I have here to a Stripe product, I could very, very easily do so. But I'm going to click the embed option, and I'm going to grab the code and then head back to motion.io. So I'll go ahead and I'll paste that embed code directly into the custom field I added. And let's say I wanted to include this in a task that was called pay invoice. So I'll give this a name. And this time, instead of using that custom field slug in the details section, I'm actually going to click the embed a website option and paste that payment form slug directly into the task. And you'll see what is going to happen is that this task will then, and give it a couple seconds to update here. But what will happen is that payment form that I grabbed from Fillout, which you can see here, this form is going to automatically embed anywhere I use that slug within my project. So it's a really simple way to be able to embed things into projects and embed things into tasks that you assign to clients. I'll just go ahead and I'm going to quickly assign this task just so we can show you what it looks like to the client. Grab a link for their portal. And I will just pivot over quickly to their project after I go ahead and activate this task for them. Forgot to send that off to the client real quick. As a note too, if you're new to motion.io, and what you actually just saw me do there is tasks will not appear in your client's portals unless you go ahead and officially send them to the client. And that enables you to create drafts of tasks, enables you to kind of build things out before actually giving the client access to it. But I did go ahead now and send that task to the client, and you'll see here, this is what it looks like in their client portal. So that provides a really slick way to automatically embed things like forms that you need into projects. One of the cool things that you can use custom fields in a similar manner for is, like, let's say that for this project that I've created, I wanted that invoice form and that task to be embedded every single time I create a new project from this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this active project into a template. And I'll just click copy to template. And let's call this, I'm just going to rename this here quickly. Call it something like web design template 2. Cool. So what I'll do now, create a new project from that template I just saved. And you will see what happens is that task where I set up that custom field on, along with all of the other tasks in the project, is going to be automatically included every time I create a new project from this. And you'll see too that that custom field value that I set in my active project gets automatically pulled in. So this becomes a really powerful and convenient way to be able to auto-populate things that you want to embed in each project and each time you use a template to create a new project. So sweet and awesome that I was able to answer your question there. With that, it's time to move on to our last couple of features of this update. And one of the next features that I will show you is going to be our auto BCC feature. And this is another feature that's been heavily requested from our users. If you have a CRM or you use a CRM in your business, one of the things you may have done before is find a email address in that CRM that you can BCC that will automatically log any communications sent from external tools or team email addresses in your CRM. So what we've added to Motion.io is our own auto BCC address. And I'll show you how to set that up now. So to do this, all you got to do is come down to the settings page of your account and then go to integrations and click auto BCC. With this email address, you could paste in basically any type of email address that you wanted to automatically CC on the emails that Motion.io sends to clients. So for example, the CRM that we use at Motion is Pipedrive. So if I wanted to add Pipedrive's auto BCC email address, and this is one that I've memorized so I know exactly what it is, but I could go ahead and save this, and then any single time Motion.io sends a email to a client, what's going to happen is that email will automatically be logged in my CRM and be associated with their contact record. And this is a really powerful feature for things like handoff between sales team and product or project delivery, because your sales team can go in and see, oh, well, hey, we're not in Motion.io because that's kind of where we hand off the project, but I can still see kind of how the project's going. I can get a log of the communication directly in my CRM that I use, day in and day out. So that's a really exciting new feature that we have. Just provides easier and more flexible ways to integrate Motion.io with the tools that you're using. If you have any questions about that new auto BCC feature and the different ways to use it, definitely let me know. One thing that I always offer on these live streams is you can send us questions at any time at hello@motion.io. That'll bring you right to our support desk. We typically respond within, an hour, a lot of times less, a lot of times it's like only 15 minutes during the week. But feel free if you do have any questions throughout this webinar or even afterwards as you're playing around with our new features, definitely let us know, send us an email. We're also happy to provide onboarding support. And there's another question, is the one BCC address per account. And yes, currently it is one BCC address per account. We do plan to, expand on this in the future if we get additional requests for, hey, I want to add multiple BCC emails. But what we typically recommend is use that auto BCC space for a direct connection, to log information with your CRM. You can also use it for things like a shared inbox. So for example, even in our case at Motion.io, we have one address, that hello@motion.io address, that everybody on our team can access. We use it for support. We use it for basically anybody who writes in and wants a question, because anybody on our team can respond. That would be another way that you could use this, is if you have some sort of shared inbox that all of your team has access to, you are able to, go in there, BCC that address, and have a log of all of that client communication. So on to our final feature that we want to show off today here. And this is one I'm going to kind of breeze through just because we have a full tutorial guide up on our YouTube page about it. But that's our WordPress client portal plugin. So one of the things that you'll see here is if you go to our Motion.io website, Under Solutions, you'll see this new WordPress plugin tab. And this has all of the information that you should need. You can download the plugin right from here. You can watch the video. You can also see instructions about how to set it up if you prefer written instructions. But the sort of 101 of what this tool does and what you can use it for is it enables you to add a Motion.io client portal to the websites that you are building and managing for clients. So let's say you manage a bunch of WordPress websites and you want clients to be able to do things like submit design feedback and changes as you're building their site, but then also do things like submit support tickets and chat with you after their website goes live. What you're able to do is embed their specific client portal directly into the WordPress website that you built for them. So it's a really great option if you are the type of business that manages and builds WordPress websites for clients. I'll put a link to that page in the chat if you want to check that out. And cool. So with that really covers this August 2024 product update and product release for Motion.io. We have about 5 minutes left here in the live stream. So if you do have questions I wasn't able to get to earlier in the webinar or questions that just came up, definitely invite you to ask them now. I'm happy to hang out even if we go a couple minutes over and answer any questions you have. Here for you to help however I can be of assistance. But we are really excited about this release. In addition to this new AI functionality, we really added a ton of features that were heavily requested from users. And that's something that we're kind of always thinking about here at Motion.io is, hey, how can we do things that we know will add a ton of value to our users that may have not been things that they requested directly? Our AI form builder, our template builder are a great example of that. And we had a couple people write in to say, oh my gosh, this is what I didn't know that I needed. I'm so glad that you've built it. But we try and balance those types of features with the things that people are requesting, because if there are ways that we can make usage of Motion.io easier, more efficient for you, it's always a big priority for us. And we appreciate everybody who out there who has been using Motion.io for weeks, months, even years now. To answer Noir's question, yes, there will be a replay. The replay is available almost as soon as I hit the end stream button here. And you'll be able to find that on YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. Instagram does not offer a replay, but all of those other three that I mentioned, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter/X, whatever you call it these days, they do offer like an immediate replay as soon as I hit end stream. And A. Smith wrote in, it's been a year for you using Motion.io. That is amazing. We have been so excited to have you with us this entire year. And I can only imagine how much you've seen the product improve during that time, because it just feels like it is a completely different platform almost in some ways than what we released at a year ago. So really happy to have you with us, and thanks for your business during that time. So with that, if there's no more questions here, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. I got some work to finish up before I sign off on this Friday and enjoy the rest of my Labor Day weekend. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. Definitely be on the lookout for more live streams like this in the coming months. We typically do one every month, the week we publish our release notes. So I'll look forward to connecting with you all again. And until next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.